So it was just yesterday. So, October 18th, 17th, I'm not even sure what day it is, 2022. That something that has happened over, I don't know, the past few months, could be a year for all I know. Something has been happening that, well, it kind of bothered me, kind of a little head scratcher when I first came across it, but I just let it go. And so have so many people, apparently. And it brings all sorts of things to mind, such as, have I, and I'm going to say me, even though I'm kind of talking about a lot of people and a lot of society over the entire globe, is it just me that has conformed so easily? This goes beyond the frog in the boiling water, folks. This is, well, let me just tell you, and maybe it's not a big deal to you guys. And the fact that I don't really know a ton of things about it, I admit not having done complete due diligence. But on the other hand, this hand, not done complete due diligence. This hand, do you really need to in this case? I'll leave it for you because I'm still deciding for myself. But in case you haven't noticed, there's certain words that people have been told, monetization people on YouTube, I think that's pretty much where this comes into play, that certain words cannot be used when telling a story or giving a dissertation or, presenting on YouTube. And I don't know if this goes across the board, but like you said, I don't think it matters. So apparently, while I was sleeping or eating or breathing or just alive, some people got together and said, not in these words, of course, because I wasn't invited. I did not even know of the meeting. They got together and they said, we have decided that certain words that are being used are offensive. And so we are going to incur a penalty or put a penalty upon those who use it in the YouTube community. Like again, I said, I do not know if it's other places, but if it's even one place, it's akin to when they started throwing library books out and Footloose was real, folks. It was real. Certain liberties. Now, I happen to think the English language has evolved more than it needs to. And as default, in some cases, now we're using emojis. We don't use words, we use happy faces. If we even choose to communicate that. But one of the words, and the one that I take issue with, is insert bleep. I think I can say it, so suicide. I'm not asking for anyone to pay me to do this, so I don't think I fall under the parameters, and if I do, why wasn't I given the memo? How is it that we as a society, or me, it's not about anyone else, it's about me, and I don't mean that in a narcissistic way or an egotistical way, I mean it in just everyone gets to choose. But stop and think about this for one moment, or 2 or 3, or 100 million, like I do. Who gave anybody, the right to tell other people without even checking with them, a democracy I thought we were, just arbitrarily pull words away? So yeah, that person may be penalized by demonetization, but what about me? Why am I not allowed to hear the word? And again, this is just one of them. From what I know so far, it's trigger words. And I don't know that it matters, the history or the background. It's just the fact that even one website demonstrates that a group of people in power, and I don't think this is the president because, I don't know. I don't know who it is. I do not know the residents that make up they of the House of Them. I have no clue. I don't really know if I want to meet these people because I don't always agree with what they say. But it's really, and there's two reasons there's more, but two come to mind at this moment that reasons why that bothers me. Well, there's kind of a third offshoot of that, but I won't go into that right now. Later. Third offshoot is, how did I just let this happen? I mean, not like I'm going to go protest, I want you to be able to say this word on YouTube, but the fact that I just have gotten to the point where I'm like, eh. Part of it is, well, it's not really complacency like laziness. It's just, they say pick your battles. Yeah. And I'm not speaking for anyone else. I'm speaking for me. I'm not real cool. I'm not down with the fact that you just take things away and it promotes exclusivity because, like I said, I did not get a vote. I was not sent a memo, not even a phone call from a solicitor. Hey, what do you think about this? I don't know when these people got together or where they got together or what their criterion was, but it seems to be like trigger words. So that brings up another point. Suicide definitely can be a trigger word, and to understand trigger, you have to understand trauma and how that affects you, and flashbacks to certain memories, seeing something that reminds you something else may, if you're not well regulated, self-regulated, know how to get into homeostasis, which I will not go into that now, but it's a pretty cool thing. What goes up must come down. So think of when your moods are down, eventually they're going to go back up again because it's got to balance itself out. And I don't know which came first, bad or good, chicken or the egg, whatever. But as long as you're breathing, you're going to have up and down, up and down. So hold on while you're in that down, because if it was really low, the high is going to be fantastic. At least that's how I understand it, and that's how it's worked for me. But while suicide may be a triggering word, don't we all have a responsibility to decide what we want to listen to and what we want to go in this ear and out the other? But personally, I don't need to have in the background news reports of a drunk driver who killed a child and then they went and killed themselves, because the verbal vomit, the toxins you are leaving, like, dump the bad news and move on and leave them. What do I do with it? Nothing. I mean, I'm already aware of the ills of alcohol, and I'm definitely not for drunk driving, but do I have to have this information? But yet someone can't, in the telling of a news story or a personal story that may help somebody, can't use the word suicide? And there's other words, and they're not bad words, but now they are. So it's not as if there weren't enough stigma around mental health and suicide enough. There was enough bullies on those bandwagons. But now we can't even say the word. And what words can't we say? Bad words. Suicide's not a bad word. The action of suicide is a tragedy. And by telling people, you can no longer say that word, isn't it almost like turning our back on it? I'm 3 years old. I can't see me, so you can't see me. I'm hiding in the closet so that no one can see me. I'm invisible until I open my eyes. So in essence, we're going backwards. I'm not saying embrace suicide, for goodness sakes, but don't shame people. And I'm not one of the house of them, but I'm pretty sure that just by not saying it or talking about it doesn't make it disappear. Kind of does the opposite. Because now people may not be talking about it when they need to talk about it. Enough said.